Thank you guys for joining me today. My name is Madar from Food and Fragrances. I have a awesome review planned out for you. Today we're going to dive deep into the newest release from the House of Argos, Sacred Flame. Yes, I got my hands on this bottle. Now, I have a wide collection of Argos fragrances that I've purchased by myself with my own money, so I'm going to give you a true full-on review of the newest release from Argos, Sacred Flame. Now, if you like what you hear, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys drop a comment, let me know what your Argos fragrances are, the favorites that you have in your collection, what you think about them, what your top 3 are, and let me know if you're interested in trying out Sacred Flame as well. Cool? Without further ado, again, make sure you subscribe, comment, like, share. It helps grow the channel. But once we play the intro, I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on this new fragrance. My, do I have a review for you guys. So this is going to be on the newest release of Sacred Flame from Argos. And yes, the reason why I'm holding this box is because as a fool, as a barbarian, I did kind of slightly unbox it so I could wear it for the, the 2 days prior to this review. But as a barbarian that I am, I accidentally ended up ripping the box, so my apologies. But here we go. Sacred Flame, beautiful artwork on the box. You got the wonderful, beautiful orange stylization over here. And then unraveling a wonderfully designed bottle. Cool, nice and snug, fits really well inside the case. And the bottle design is absolutely phenomenal as well. So we're gonna take that out. Showcase that. Perfect. What a fragrance. What a fragrance. So let's take a look at the atomizer first, because since we have it in our hand. Oh, that's wonderful stuff, guys. Okay. Let's dive deep into the review, because that's what we want to know. We want to know what this bottle is like. All right. So let's firstly talk about the packaging of Argos. If you're familiar with the house, with Argos, then you'll definitely know what to expect, right? You have a wonderful artwork designed by a particular artist or a painter, which translates on the box wonderfully. You have a wonderful presentation in the side of where the fragrance is actually placed inside of the box. Different colorizations, bottle to bottle, so you get a nice little variety. But there is consistency with the actual box that you're purchasing with Argos. And over here, you'll end up getting, a little story about the artist and the fragrance, and you also get some of the notes in here as well. Really nice packaging, in my opinion. When we're talking about packaging, there aren't too many houses that do it better. There's still obviously room for growth, because I have seen some of the most exquisite packaging, but in my opinion, I think everybody raves about Argos packaging and presentation, and without fail, right? They do it bang up. Their detail and quality is bang up. I think when it comes to something that you can actually present and keep, I think they do a wonderful job. So in my opinion, for scoring, I'm going to give packaging a 6 out of 7. I didn't want to spend too much time on packaging because it's not really too related, but it is nice to have. So moving on, next we're going to go with bottle design. Now, when we're talking about bottle design, this is what Argos is known for. You get wonderful vertical type of fragrances that really symbolize the Greek mythology, the columns that you're kind of known to grow in love. For me, I always think about God of War when I used to play the video games back in the days, and scaling some of those scenes and seeing the columns, the Greek columns in the background. This kind of reminds me of that, right, with the shape of the bottle and things like that. I think bottle design, phenomenal. Consistency is there. You get consistent bottles from release to release to release. The atomizer, as we've seen earlier, phenomenal, beautiful dispersion of mist, great coverage of mist. And again, for juice that's as potent as this, you know, having a little bit of distance from when you spray, allowing it to disperse naturally, I think is really, really awesome. You know, beautiful design on the cap. You have the Argo's eye with the diamond. There you have a wonderful etching on the back, newly designed. You have the plaque, which again is so detailed and beautifully colored. Like the depth of color with the jewels on the plaque by Sacred Flame, I think is absolutely wonderful. Argo's logo etched in the bottom, or actually protruding a little bit with the design on the cap. I think, again, this is world-class bottle design, consistency, not too many defects that I've ever seen on any of the bottle designs when it comes to Argos. So it's going to get a perfect score in my opinion. I think 12 out of 12 for bottle design is absolutely what it deserves. It's respectable. And again, the reason why I think this matters is if you do have a growing collection and you like consistency when it comes to collecting what you collect, this encompasses that, right? Beautiful caps, all that is all the same. But I think, again, having verticality when it comes to bottle design allows you to kind of store a little bit more on your cabinet, which kind of plays a little bit for space saving. Plus, mixed with the packaging, you can kind of use the orange box as like a bookend to symbolize and differentiate the different fragrances from Argos that you have. So all in together, I think packaging plus bottle design is phenomenal. Cool, so 12 out of 12 for that. Now we're going to talk about scent profile. Now, scent profile is where all the juice, no pun intended, is with this fragrance. What I really, really love about this fragrance is at first spray, when you actually spray this, you're getting a wonderful concoction of a peach note. And the peach note is blended really, really well with the different spices in the fragrance. There's some citrus in there, there's some cloves in there, there's some ginger in there, but none of them are predominant just like the peach note is. The peach note, I think, is the highlight. Now, when I say dominant, I don't necessarily mean you're getting a blast of peach. This, to me, is a very zen-like peach, meaning that it feels very reminiscent of a tea-like fragrance, a mate-like fragrance. And not saying that it is a tea fragrance, but that's the vibe that I get. It's very warm, it's very comforting. The spice does not overextend itself. It actually helps the peach note find its own voice, unlike Triumph of Bacchus, where it is very fruity, peach dominant mixed with a rum accord. This is more of a hum, zen-like tea style, especially in the opening, mixed in with some of the florals that you'll notice, like a tuberose, a little greenness of a rose, jasmine. I think all of these kind of help give the peach depth, more backbone, and bring a tea-like feel to it. Is it overly floral? No, not at all. Is it overly spicy? No, not at all. At all. Again, I'm really getting a warm peach tea. And what I mean by that is, picture you've had a steeped peach tea chilling in the background and the aroma coming out of it as it warms down, as it cools down, you know, leaving it a little bit warm, palatable, where you're not scorching your mouth. That's kind of what this fragrance feels like. It's just comforting. It's very zen-like. Now, what I love about the scent development of this fragrance is you get 3 different stages. What does that mean? The opening will be peach dominant, where you'll get that tea-like feel. The mid is my favorite part of the fragrance. And as much as I love the first part, which I really do, the mid is, to me, is which gave me the wow factor. And what comes in the mid is a beautiful cinnamon bark note. Now, cinnamon being separate, bark being separate. What does that mean? What does bark smell like? Great question, my aficionados. What the bark really resonates for me is a tobacco-like feel, very toasty, not tobacco-y in the sense of like a tobacco fragrance, but very toasty. But I do get reminiscence of a tobacco-like feel, because later in the dry down you have beautiful sweetness, like a balsamic type of sweetness. You got, you know, your ambers, you got your vanilla, you got your tonka beans, and much more. But what this bark does to the fragrance is really enhance it, and while keeping the aesthetics of the peach, right, that nice zenithfulness of the peach, you get this playful, barky tobacco that really enhances the fragrance, but has that traditional Argos signature smoothness to it. That's friggin' awesome. Really awesome. When I first sprayed this and I was in my car, windows down, driving, I was very encapsulated by the peach note, to the sense that I was just like, oh, okay, I really don't know if this differentiates itself from a lot of other fragrances, to the extent that I would be like, oh yeah, no, I should day one buy this. But when that bark and cinnamon came in and it kind of gave it that appearance of a tobacco, I was like, yo, is there tobacco in this fragrance? And if not, what is doing this? And it was the bark. It was very, very different and very, very fun. It really, it blew my mind. I thought it was wonderful. Now, accompanied with the other floral notes, if you do see the note breakdown, I don't think the note breakdown necessarily does it justice, but the florals are there, again, for backbone purposes. You're not going to get a hint of, oh my God, this is rose or white floral dominant or violet dominant. You're not going to get that. In my opinion, again, you get a wonderful tobacco-y, barky type of feel, a toasty type of feel, because later in the dry down, you have the signature sandalwood that Argos is kind of known for. It's beautifully creamy, beautifully smooth, nice and woody, then mixed in with, you know, the rest of the sweetness that we touched upon, like amber, vanilla, tonka, you know, some of that balsamic type of feel to it, you know, some spices from the clove kind of kicking in. It has that depth. I think it's just so well balanced, because when you talk about the end phase, the third phase of the fragrance, that's where I think Sacred Flame really kind of shines in its personal bubble. Sacred Flame to me, meaning that, you know, it's kind of sacred, it's intimate, you know, I'm with who I'm, you know, my significant other, we're cozied up. This is where they're going to enjoy the fragrance a lot, because it switches more so from a kind of like tea-like, fruity-like, tobacco-like fragrance to a more gourmandy type of fragrance, but not overly gourmand. It's very mature, it's very smooth, it's very luxurious, and very close to your personal bubble, that if you're intimate in an intimate circle, that's a lot to enjoy. It's very one with you, as opposed to it feeling like a fragrance or a perfume. It feels very like you. You know what I'm saying? So, what I get with the dry down is I get a wonderful gourmand type of feel, again, with the sweetnesses kind of mellowing down the fragrance, and really kind of feeling like a toasty, sweet type of approach, skin scent type of approach, which kind of feels a little bit more than skin scent, right? So in my opinion, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful scent profile. Like Triumph of Bacchus, how people say that that is a tobacco fragrance, I just don't personally see it. I think it's more of a fruity rum type of fragrance with a little bit of a dry down of tobacco. This one to me feels more of a tobacco fragrance without it even having tobacco in it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And then the different phases that it gives you is something that a lot of fragrances lack. It's not linear whatsoever. There's so many development opportunities with this fragrance for you to enjoy. So in my opinion, we're giving the scent profile a 22 out of 25 on the scoring. Now, when we're moving on to performance, does this fragrance last long? Yes, it does. I sprayed it, I'd say, closer towards 8 p.m. last night, slept with it on, woke up, took a shower, and I still got hints of it on my hand. I think the performance of this is really, really awesome. And again, given the fact that there's so many different phases and transitions with this fragrance, I think the performance of this fragrance really keeps you wanting more, really keeps you kind of going in for more smells, and kind of makes you question, damn, did this really transition to this? What element moment am I in? Will this note come back? Will it be playful? Will I, get to experience something else? So in my opinion, yeah, I think the performance of this fragrance is actually really, really awesome. When we're talking about, having something last one-dimensional is different than having something last when it's transitional like this. So even though, yes, it does perform really well, and I'm talking about 8+, maybe 10+ hours for sure, it's going to be on a stage-by-stage basis. Will you like the opening as much as the mid? Will you like the dry down as much as the mid or the opening, right? So that kind of factored into my score, because there are 3 different stages, and if you like them, you like them. If you love them, you love them. If you don't, then you're kind of wait for the next stage to happen. But performance-wise, I do think this is a banger. I don't think it's necessarily beast mode, which will be in the sillage section after, but performance I think is really good. I'll give it a 13 out of 16 because, again, there could be different stages of the fragrance that you might love more. So that's kind of what factors into my scoring with the performance. Now, let's move on to sillage. When we're talking about sillage, we're talking about how far does this extend past your personal bubble. I think Argos does a wonderful job of being respectable. I think, 1.5 to 2 arms length is very, very respectable. It's not beast mode by any stretch. It does perform really well, but it's not beast mode. It's not necessarily a room filler. It's respectable, it's mature, it's classy, it's fun, it's everything that you could expect from an Argos fragrance. In my opinion, would I want it to extend a bit more? No, I don't think so. I think it does a great job exercising its boundaries. I think it's wonderful for me. It's wonderful for the people around me. Other than that, I don't necessarily care, right? Am I a compliment seeker? No. But do I want people around me to have a good time and smell something nice and be like, yeah, I appreciate you being here with your scent? Yeah, hell yeah, of course. But do I want it to be something where it's like obnoxious? Nah, not at all, right? So to each their own, because I know some people love that beast mode type of feel, but to me, it's not my style. But I think this does a very, very respectable job at kind of projecting itself and doing its thing. I think in the dry down, it does become a little bit more of a skin scent, but a little bit more than a skin scent, but it does remain a little bit close to you. So that's kind of where the score kind of gets a little bit deducted, but it's not a bad thing in my opinion. I know we're all looking for perfect 10s and stuff like that. Don't worry about perfect 10s. They don't exist. There's no such thing. It's what the fragrance means to you. So with that being said, the score that I'm giving this is a 10 out of 13, which is very, very respectable. Scent versatility to me is like, when can I wear this fragrance? When can I not wear this fragrance? Is it versatile? Is it something that I want to wear here, now, during this weather? Yada, yada, yada. I did try this in warmer weather, hence that warm peach tea-like feel that I got from it. Probably was because of the enhancement of the warmer weather. 29 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Celsius, around there. Do I think that this would do much better in cooler weather? Absolutely, yes I do. I do think it might be a little bit more suited towards the cooler weather, but I do also think that you could wear this in warmer weather. That's not a thing. Like, feel free to wear it and see how you feel about it. It's not sickly, it's not thick, it's not something that, with warmer weather, you'll kind of be like, oh, damn, I should have worn something else. But chances are, if you do have this fragrance, you'll probably reserve it for a little bit of a cooler weather, because I'm pretty sure you'd probably reach for something else in warmer weather, right? Something a little bit more fresher, a little bit more citrusy, a little bit more bright. Now, this is a little bit more warm, a little bit more toasty, a little bit more cozy. So I do see this. You can use this for special occasions. You can use this for day-to-day if you just want to smell great. Evening for sure. Winter, spring, fall for sure. And I think summer nights for sure. This would be a banger of a wearing. Occasions, yeah. I think you'd be really, really stand out if you wear something like this during a wedding, a baby shower, or anything, any type of occasion that you go for. yeah, I do think this is a very versatile scent, and again, it really is an attribution to Christian Petrovich, the way that he develops fragrances. It's fragrances that he would wear, and it feels like that. It feels like fragrances that people would love to wear. So, absolutely, for scent versatility, we are going with 10 out of 12. Very, very awesome, respectable score. Last but not least, we'll talk about the pricing, and is the pricing justified? Now, before we get into that, let's just quickly dive deep. The two options that you have is 30 ml and 100 ml. Now, for 100 ml is 404 Canadian dollars. I'll put the rest of the price points below for USD, and for the 30 ml, I have the 100 ml, so I'm just going to talk about that. 404 Canadian dollars plus shipping, plus customs and duties potentially, right? Is it a cheap fragrance? No. Is it a fragrance that is kind of worth it? That's going to be up to you. I always say sample your fragrances first. See what the fragrance does for you. If you think that the fragrance is worth the money because you're going to use the fragrance, then yeah, it doesn't matter what you pay, respectfully, obviously, from respectable means. The main thing is that you're using what you're purchasing, right? To me, my theory is if you spend $50 on a fragrance and that fragrance is sitting there and not being used, that is more expensive than spending $500 on a fragrance that you use consistently and you're making a huge dent in the bottle. A bottle that's collecting dust means nothing. A bottle that's being used means you're enjoying it and it makes sense. Right? Does a cell phone justify a $2,000 Canadian purchase? No. But do you use it every day? Yeah. Does it make it worth it? Yeah, kind of, right? It's like one of those concepts. But it is pricey, definitely, but the quality is there. The presentation is there. The bottle design is there. The consistency is there. The way that Argos does their things, they make sure that when they release something, there's no variance. There's no difference in the juice. Meaning that, you know, if it's not ready, it's not going to be pushed out until it's ready. And the biggest thing for me was Nemean Lion, where, yeah, of course, there was such high demand for it, but did it make sense to push that fragrance out without it being ready and sourcing the right materials? No. So that's what I love about Argos. You do get consistency, you do get that care for quality, and it's not just about consumerism. Is it priced well? That's up to you. Get a sample, see how you feel about it. It is on the higher side, but I do think it is worth it. In my opinion, I think I'll give it a 12 out of 15 for pricing, which, you ready for the total score? All right. So yes, I did enjoy this. If you can add it up yourself, for sure, yes, I did enjoy this. I'm giving this a solid 86% score. And 86% is the highest score, tied with the highest score for fragrances that I've actually reviewed this year. So that's huge. That's huge. I think Sacred Flame is a banger. I'm still deciding where I'm putting it within the Argos lineup for me, because I do love Triumph of Bacchus, I do love Danae, I do love Triumphs Over War, Nemean Lion, oh, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. This is up there for me. I don't know if it's top 3. I feel like it might be top 3, but then when I consider Nemean Lion, I know what to expect with that fragrance, so I crave that fragrance. There's something about it that is so ridiculously good. But same with this. This is ridiculously good. You know, I'm very happy with this release from Argos. Definitely banger of a fragrance. Sample it, see what it means to you, and really be patient with it. Allow it to go through its development stages and experience the beauty of what this type of perfumery is. Okay, that will conclude our review, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Please hit that subscribe button if you like what I have to say. I will be doing a lot more reviews in the future when I have more time. Just planning for my wedding, so it's a little hectic, but I'm trying to squeeze these in as I can. So subscribe, comment, like, share with all your friends and family, and help this channel grow. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Peace out. Sacred Flame, Argos. See you guys on the next one. Bye.